Hi guys, I'm Aussie Villain and welcome back to Jarun on the Impossible Dream. It is a summer transfer special today. Now we can see on the finances behind me here, we did have 13 million to spend with 190 in wages. There is some transfers we've already done. I'll catch you up on those momentarily because first things first, we've got to go and do our end of season awards.
Jarune, za tebe mi dijete diše, tu je važno samo jedno. Nogometi ništa više. Jarune.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's the Jarun End of Season Awards! Thank you everybody. Thank you so much. Thank you Jarun and welcome to our End of Season Awards. It was, guys, you were minutes away. You don't even have to be better next season. You've just got to play for 3 extra minutes. That's... they did their best, I suppose, but god damn it, guys, we're in stoppage time. So the first award this evening is the Golden Pen, awarded for this season's Signing of the Year. And I've got to say, I am increasingly thinking this guy could be one of the players of his generation in his position. So huge congratulations, and please get rid of that minimum release fee. It's Hugo Torres. The next award is the Golden Card, awarded to this season's worst disciplined player. And this guy is another one needs to lose his release fee, to be honest. 10 yellow cards, which is pushing a club record. Not quite there, though, but hopefully you'll have next season to do a little bit better than that. It is Nemanja Tosic. The next award is the Golden Spoon, awarded to the player who feeds the strikers and provides the most assists. Another guy here that could be considered quite unlucky not to have won the Golden Spoon. He's winning that. He could have won the Golden Pen as well. But with 14 assists, congratulations, David Della Vabora. The next award is the Golden Anchor, awarded to the player that we can rely on, the player with the highest average match rating. And this guy, we've seen him up here already this evening. Average match rating of 7.44. Congratulations once again, David Della Vabora. The next award is the Golden Cross, which comes from the medical department for this season's most injured player. And having missed 39% of the season when there's players in his position that are doing well, bad time for injuries, mate. But nonetheless, congratulations on your Golden Cross, Elias Phillips. The next award is the Golden Soother for the baby of the team, this season's best young player. And I can tell you that the award is going to... That can't be right. Guys, he's 24 years old. He can't win best young player. Oh, this is ridiculous. That's Bosniak, but he's 24 years old. Next award is the Golden Boot, awarded to the top goal scorer this season. And this guy with 20 goals is very well deserving of it. And someone that just keeps getting better and better, to be honest. So congratulations goes to Igor Matanovic. The next award is the Aussie Villain Revenge Award, sometimes known as the Horse's Ass, for this season's worst player. And this guy, he thinks he's an outfield player playing in goal, I think. Allergic to touching the ball. And, the Horse's Ass is a very well-deserving Gayeska Eyasa. Now, it's time for the Viewers Player of the Year. Now, I owe everybody a big apology for no vote this season. That is 100% on me, and I do apologise sincerely. What we've been able to do, though, with the nominations that came in, and thank you for everybody who did nominate, there was someone who had more nominations than anybody else, and I feel like they would be a deserving winner in any case. So that's how we've decided this season's award, and I can tell you the winner is David Della Vabora. Now, before we get to announcing this season's Player of the Year, we do need to acknowledge the Team of the Season. So if you do just direct your eyes up to the board, you will see the goalkeeper is Priscilla. Your back four is Della Vabora, Tosic, Williams and Torres. Your midfield is Sitho, Bosniak, Palumbo and Skoko. and the front two are Akbarsley and Matanovic. Guys, you've all been brilliant this year. Well done. More of the same next year, please. And now it's time for the Golden Star for this season's Player of the Year. And I can tell you again, this guy, we've already seen him on the stage tonight. He is almost an unsung hero for someone who does feature quite prominently even. So a big congratulations and a very well-deserved Golden Star goes to Igor Matanovic. Well done, Igor. Congratulations to him and the rest of the winners this evening. And, well, it's going to be a very busy summer we have coming up just in a minute here. And, as I said, we don't need to improve that much. We just need to play just a little bit longer in that final game. But that being said, we did drop a few silly points in draws. We need better squad depth. And hopefully those are things we'll be able to address this summer. So thank you, everybody watching in the auditorium. Thank you for you watching at home. And I've got to go do some transfers. Thank you, everybody, and good night. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much. Well, there we go. End of season awards are done for another year. Let's have a quick review of the season. And, well, signing of the year was Torres. And, well, there's a few here that can feel hard done by, I think. Della Vabora for just over $500,000 is definitely one of them. But we've got A ratings for both of them. Ramsey, we got him for $3,000. He is very much someone we'll probably look to sell on, to be honest, this season and make a profit on him. Antwi has been my surprise of the season, I would say. Pavicevic is another one that will probably look to move on in the summer and have made a profit on him. Ranocchia has been a very, very useful signing. Jakic, I think, has been a pretty useful signing as well. Due started off well in the end. He's kind of fallen out of favour, to be honest, and another one that we might need to look to move on. Tosic, brilliant, A+. We definitely don't want to lose him. But we don't have a choice with that 4.8 million. Priscilla did exactly what I think we needed him to do, was just solid. Wasn't outstanding, but just solid, and made the odd save. And this guy is just maybe a bit of a panic buy, but just for a bit of cover, and he did fine. Did anybody that leave do anything? Hamache, he'll do well in MLS. Pembele has done well as we would expect him to do at Udinese. Rovis has done well, has he? Hasn't played much, to be fair. And then Ayasa went to Lorient, has played. I wonder if he's made any saves there for them yet. Bracalo has played at Amiens or something like that. Schalke and Damjanic, as he's not playing well, but he's playing, which I guess is half the battle. Anybody else? Not overly, it doesn't look like. All right, season results. It still hurts. It still hurts. We were so close. Champions League, I mean, we were never realistically going to get over the top of RB Leipzig, were we? How did they do in the Champions League? Let's just digress for one quick second here. If we go to their schedule, and they were in the Champions League round of 16, got knocked out by Bayern Munich. So, yeah, they were a decent side, weren't they? Which is unfortunate for us. Europa League, in the end, we got a B. I mean, we were never likely to beat Manchester United, but I think we did about as well as we could have done, given the draw that we got. The Cup, I mean, the Cup's the Cup, isn't it? It is what it is. And did we win that? I think we did win it. Yeah, it might have been on penalties we beat them there. So at least we won something off Dinamo this season. 5-0 was the biggest win. The match to remember was the 2-1 win over Feyenoord in the Europa League. And goal of the season, as given by game, is Kakavenga's strike there against Aberdeen. We will, of course, have voted on that, or we did vote on that last episode, I should say. So we'll see the winner of that next episode. If you haven't voted, I'll try and remember to leave the... Well, you won't have seen the replay, the goals. Anyway, it was last episode. Go back and vote if you haven't. All right, club reputation. We are still a 3-star club. Corporate hospitality was down a scooch, but nothing too bad. Same with matchday revenue. But everything else was on the up, which is good. Matanovic is the top shirt sale with Fillet, Torres, Vicentin, and Jakic, the other top ones there. Team of the season. Let's have a quick look here. I'm going to say pretty close to what we would say is our best team. Jakic just maybe a little bit unlucky there not to be there. He was, I think, a good player for us this season, but all in all, that's pretty close to the best team, isn't it? Kakavenga, actually, maybe he's quite unlucky. He did, if it was a European team, he'd definitely be there, wouldn't he? So the accolades. Matanovic was the player of the season, and young player of the year was Bosniak at 24. Come on, that is ridiculous. I almost don't want to give him that out of just spite. or principle, perhaps more so than spite. But we can see all the other winners there. Matanovic had the most Man of the Match awards as well, and the most league goals by a player. Phillip is now the record breaker at the club, I should say, for that. When he overtook, we had, who was it beforehand? I can't remember now. I feel like it was one of our old players. Oh, what's his face? The last of the originals. His name escapes me now, but Pajic? Anyway, him. Might have been him. So, a decent season. We were just about there, weren't we? Just about there. Pranjic. There it is there. Pranjic. So this is the all-time best 11. I'll zoom in a bit there so you can see that. But now that we've got that out of the way, we can move on to the transfer special proper. So let's go and start by having a look at what we know is happening, the transfers that are already done. So this one, not necessarily exciting, and it's less exciting now than when we did it, but on a free transfer, Pejo Sivkovic is coming in from Milan. Yeah, he's 19. There's a few good attributes there, so we'll see what we get out of him, which probably won't be much. Now, the next two you guys do not know about yet, but they are fairly exciting, I think. Coming in for 325 grand from HJK is Finnish international goalkeeper Jasso Jentsunen. He is a towering goalkeeper, almost 2 meters tall. He's hopefully going to be our answer to the goalkeeping problem. There is a little bit to like about him. He's definitely got a good aerial reach. He's good in the air, good jumping reach. One thing he won't be able to do, though, I don't think, is be a sweeper keeper. So we'll probably have to switch that around a little bit. But he's not terrible. He can still pass the ball. Kicking's decent. Positioning is good. I'm hopeful he's going to do quite well for us. So he was previously in Freiburg in Germany, but never really played there. So this is his real big chance to sort of play outside of his home country. And the other player coming in is Ronaldo Avila for £4 million. Now, this was another one of the next-gen 50. It was a little ways down the list, but still on there. And we had to go big. We had to go above his transfer fee and quite big wages to get it happening. But he is very, very highly rated by the scouts. He is a wonder kid. He is very good physically. Doesn't have great teamwork, but he's more here to be the advanced forward because he's got good off-the-ball movement, good composure, good anticipation. Finishing, dribbling, first touch are all very good. So yeah, he's highly rated. He's coming in from Colombia, from Junior, and yeah, he has played 46 times for them in their top flight and scored 25 goals. So I think he's going to be good. I really do. Of course, we do have a release fee for him. It's 6 million, I think, which is a bit of a shame. But anyway, that's what we know is happening. So let's go and see what we don't know is happening. Let's continue on. So, let's be honest, we're all a little bit disappointed with this, aren't we? Hajduk have absolutely battered Rudez in the relegation playoff, or play-out, or whatever you want to call it. So, 6-1 on aggregate. They couldn't even win the home leg, good Rudez. So, unfortunately, Hajduk will be, they'll still be in the top flight next year. We have breaking news this evening out of Croatia as Jarun manager WHEELIN picks over the corpse of Osijak's relegation to sign left-back Josip Ruknit for £1.9 million. Now, WHEELIN had this to say just moments ago. Yeah, I mean, look, we needed somebody to replace Hamache, and in Josip we've got someone who is, I mean, technically he's a bit rubbish to be fair, but he's very, very fast. So we have our new backup for Della Vabora, and I think, I don't know what to make of this guy. I'll be curious to see what you guys say in the comments. So we've got him for 1.9. There was a release fee with Osijak's relegation. I'd been looking at this guy anyway. So we signed as a squad player, just under 2,500 a week. There's no release fee or anything like that. Future playing time of a regular starter. That may be a small lie, but we'll see. I mean, they get a lot of playing time if we're in Europe and playing 3 times a week anyway. So let's have a look at him. 1.9 million. What do we think? Now, technically, he's obviously not great. That pretty much goes without saying. But he's very, very quick. He's got decent strength. Mentally, he's also quite good. And, I mean, what he doesn't have technically isn't maybe that important for a defender. He can tackle, he can mark, and he's got a decent cross. He's only 20, so there is still room for him to improve. I'm still not sure. But, I mean, he's a Croatian international, so there must be something there. There are a lot of Inter and Porto are both interested in him, so there's obviously something. There is something there. We can see there's something there. I'm just not sure if his technical shortcomings are going to be a big deal, or if we're going to be able to sort of work around them with the other strengths of his game. So we're going to find out, and hopefully he's going to prove to be a successful signing for us. All right, so we have an update of the European rankings and whatnot. So the league has remained in 11th in terms of reputation, so that's okay. We have moved up 18 places to 46th, so that's good for us. England and Germany get the coefficient thing. Homegrown players for Europe, we can see them there. And Croatia rises up. So the league phase, there is... Oh, we were that close to... Now, that's actually for next season. So if we win the league this season, straight into the Champions League, we don't have to qualify. And as it is, if we were to come second, then league path, we would go into the third qualifying round, not the second qualifying round. So that's all not too bad. Now, there is a lot of interest from England in Paolo Vicente. He's back from his broken ankle. I had agreed a fee with Leicester of 10 million plus a 50% sell-on. I then had to change a heart and sort of close the whole thing off. Yeah, I don't want to sell him, but there may come a point when, I mean, that's a lot of money for us, and we know we have a Villa coming in, that wonder kid that we've signed, and they're kind of similar players, although he could play as a deep-lying forward. Maybe we sell someone like Phillip or like Bosley. I don't know. Anyway, we've got probably too many strikers as it is. I don't think Vicenton's the one we want to sell, though, is he? So another quick European update. We've got our first qualifying round in Champions League qualifying, the second qualifying round. It's against Austria Vienna. So that could be better. It probably could be a lot worse as well. So let's see if we can get past them. July 24th is the first leg. So we've got just over a month before we've got to deal with that. So plenty of time. We'll see what we can do to strengthen. All right, we are at June 19th, which means the transfer window is open, which means our 3 new signings have officially arrived. So Rupnik for 1.9 million is here. I still am not... I'm really curious to see what you guys think of him. I guess we'll find out when he starts playing exactly what we have signed. I can see why he's good, and I can also see why I've wasted 1.9 million. So hopefully... even if it's just somewhere in the middle, he's just got to be back up to Della Vabora right now. We've got our new goalkeeper, A-. The fans like him. That's probably because they know we've got absolutely nothing. But yeah, they could be a very, very useful goalkeeper there for us. And our wonder kid, Avia, is here as well. And let's hope that he is someone that can consistently bang the goals away for us. He's now a Colombian international as well. I think he must be at the World Cup, which is ongoing. I'll catch you up on that once it's finished. There's no point sort of every 6 weeks, every 6 games coming back, so, or 6 days I should say. So that is that. We have already broken our record transfer spend, so it's been a very productive summer on that sense. Tosic is getting bids in, but not near that 4.8 million release fee, crucially, though you worry a little bit that's going to go before the end of the window. And Vicenton as well is still getting bids from Germany. But now that the window's open, yeah, we'll be able to should hopefully anyway be able to do a little bit of wheeling and dealing. All right, so we're at July 1st, which means, of course, contracts expiring and all that kind of stuff for loanees returning. So we do have our other midfielder that we signed on a free transfer. So we'll see what we get out of him. There's a little bit there, isn't there? There might be a little bit of hope. Now, the one thing that we did sell a player, and that player was Lovrich. We can see here, so Lovrich, 50 grand plus a 50% sell on. Remember when he first came in, he was so highly rated, wasn't he? I thought he was going to be the great savior, but ultimately I think his personality has kind of got the better of him, and he's not developed barely at all. He's had 1 or 2 good games for us, but he'll go off to Rijeka. He's there as a future prospect, and if he becomes anything, then we'll get 50% of the next fee, and we'll all be happy. So that is that. We're going to go and see if we can pick up some free transfers now. You can see Grafinha has left as well. Another one I thought might amount to something, but in the end didn't. So yeah, this is we got 2 or 3 weeks before Champions League qualifying starts, so we've got to try and get down to business very, very quickly. All right, a quick update on a few transfers, more outs than ins, but we'll catch you up here. Now, Tammy Bridic, who we signed on a free transfer last year as a pig wheel, trying to fatten to sell on, 2.2 million plus a 50% sell on. Very, very nicely done indeed. And yeah, he was out on loan for most of last season. Did get 1 goal for us that I remember. But yeah, out on loan last year at Pisa, I think it was, in Italy. And he moves on to Maribor for 2.2. The other player that's left that's a major departure is Tommy Santiago, 600 grand back to his home country with Utrecht. He is a model citizen, but realistically, I was trying to find game time for him. There really wasn't naturally game time there. We have better, younger, maybe not better, but we have younger players who can play centre-back. We have younger players who can play as that sort of holding midfielder. So I thought it's better off to just cash in on him while we can. His contract was up at the end of this year anyway, and yeah, we'll move him on, even though he is a model citizen and was good for mentoring. Now, one player that we have signed is this guy, Alexander Puljic. Now, he was released by Dinamo Zagreb. He never really, if ever, made it with them. He was someone who we were looking to loan in quite a few times, and I just thought if he's free, he's only wanted to be a breakthrough prospect, £350 a week. That made no sense not to sign him, basically. So we went and snapped him up. So hopefully he might even be the backup ahead of Priscilla. We'll have to wait and see on that front. But yeah, we've got like 20 goalkeepers at the club now, so I do need to make decisions on goalkeepers. But you can never have too many, I suppose. So welcome, more the merrier. Alright, a very quick update for a major departure. That is Doué for 2.2 million off to Swansea. We just didn't really have a need for him because we've got some good right wing backs. Antwi and Torres obviously are the first two choices, which sort of meant he was at best third choice, in which case we have a Dekic or someone like that who could do the job in the off chance that we need them. And we've got so many good centre backs that we don't really need him there anywhere. So he's kind of just become redundant. So to get 2.2 million for a player that didn't really have a place in the team, it's pretty good business, I think. So yeah, it's bad luck for him, but a nice fee for us. All right, we are at game day of our first game of the league season. We'll be against Gorica in that one. But the World Cup has just finished, like today in game. And it was Italy that won it over Brazil in the final. That's a nice little, that feels like a World Cup finals at Italy versus Brazil. We missed this one, though. Nigeria won it last time. So I'm not sure. Not sure what happened there, but anyway, Nigeria have won a World Cup, so well done to Nigeria and Africa as a whole. This doesn't really tell the whole story, though. If we go quickly back to the group stage here, I'll just kind of get myself out of the way so you can see here. South Africa was eliminated in the group stage, as was Japan, which would be disappointing for them. I would have thought Ireland topping a group with Brazil in it, though. Saudi Arabia went out, and Italy and Canada and Lebanon making a World Cup, but going out, Canada would be disappointed with that. I would have thought Thailand got eliminated in the group stage, as did Paraguay and Iran. That would have been a really good group. Italy, Croatia, Paraguay, Iran. Morocco went out in another pretty good group, it has to be said. And then Colombia would be the surprise with Haiti. Syria went out. Trinidad and Tobago went out. Thankfully, Australia went through. Croatia and Qatar and Algeria went out, as did the Dr. Congo, with New Zealand going through, which is probably a surprise, I would have thought. So then we have the round of 16. I will zoom in a little bit on this one so it's a bit easier to see. Australia knocking out Mexico. Go on, boys. But yeah, there's a couple of surprises in here. I'd say, Spain knocking out defending World Cup champions, perhaps. Poland knocking out Ireland, who topped the group with Brazil, who, as we've just seen, went on to make the final. Czechia put New Zealand out. Croatia, of course, our team, I suppose, in this game, beaten by the Netherlands. Portugal knocked out England in the round of 16, or the second round, I should say. So that would have gone down well, I suppose. Serbia beat Uruguay. Now, that was two of our boys, because Hugo Torres was playing for Serbia in that one. And you can see all the other results there as well. France giving a bit of a touch-up to Senegal, and Turkey knocking out Argentina. That brings us to the round of 16, and obviously the headline here, Australia into the quarterfinals as they knock out Czechia 2-0, but Serbia in a bit of a goal fest versus Sweden. Ivory Coast knocked out Turkey. Austria knocking out Portugal, and Brazil took out the Netherlands, and you can see the other ones there. USA going into the quarterfinals as well, ruining Australia being the only fairy tale, although I guess Ivory Coast would be up there as well. Into the quarterfinals, and bloody Italy. So I think that we can all agree that means Australia is the second best team right now. But Brazil took out the US. Austria knocking out France in what can only be described as a surprise. And Tosic's Serbia knocking out the Ivory Coast to go into the semi-finals. And then, unfortunately for Tosic, it was the third place playoff for him, as they lost 2-0 to Italy, and Brazil knocked out Austria on penalties. So, I mean, Austria, that's the surprise, really, isn't it, that they've done that well. And then the third place playoff, unfortunately for Tosic, he doesn't come home with a bronze medal because they were beaten 2-1 in that. So that's the World Cup. A 30-something-year-old Mbappe with the golden boot, 31-year-old Mbappe, a 35-year-old Alexander Mitrovic with the second there. We saw Serbia did score a few goals, but you can see none of our players there. But yeah, I mean, surprised that Mitrovic is still going, to be honest, and it's still playing, obviously, at a very, very good level as well. So a quick recap on what we've done. We've brought in 5 million since the tickover of seasons. Now, this doesn't show a lot of the signings that we made earlier on, but just to catch you up on a few here, I'm not sure if I showed you this guy, that Brazilian right winger I signed last season that we never used. He was out on loan. He's gone off to Crotone. Kondrich, who we got on a free transfer from somewhere, he's gone off to Cooper with a 50% sell-on, so we'll see if he comes into anything. We'll get some money for it. We've sent out this right back to Bordeaux on loan for the season. We'll probably do that to a few other players, to be honest. But for now, he's the only one. And Mezak, who we did see briefly in our first team, he's been out on loan the last 2 seasons. He's not really developed in truth. So we sold him to newly promoted Istra. And I think we've got a 50% sell on there as well. So we'll see what happens with him. But let's see what we've got to start the season with. So goalkeepers, we do have a few, it has to be said, and there's a few decent young ones as well on top of this. But the new boy, Jutunen, is obviously the number one for this season. We've got Pulic, who, I mean, he's not bad, is he? So he could be a very capable backup along with Priscilla. We do have our young Spanish goalkeeper here who's unambitious. We will try and move him on, I think, because he's a little bit older and not the best personality compared to some of the other young ones that we have. And Sakanji, you can see we've got a bid for him. We're actively trying to move him on at this point. To centre-back. Now, Tosic is here for now. No one's triggered his release fee as of yet, so fingers crossed that stays the case. Reece Williams, who has signed a contract extension, so he's here into his a 3-year deal, so when he's 32, that deal will be up. We don't really need to get rid of him right now, do we? So he's signed a contract extension. Triantis, now his contract is up, and he's refusing to negotiate a new one because he wants to leave, so he's here for now. We might need to, just so we don't lose him for nothing, we might need to sell him. We'll see how that goes. Borchman is back from his loan last season. He is developing not too badly, it has to be said. Jumping reach and the heading is still the slight issue with him, but I think there's enough there to say that he can come back and do a job for us in the league at this point. Then we've got our youngsters, Benasek, who is not developing. I mean, we probably need to play more in truth. Then we've got Terzinski, who is still rated as a promising centre-back. And we've got Skulabar, again, still rated as a promising centre-back. And who else we got here? Oh, Jakic, who could play centre-back if we need him to at a stretch. Ideally, he'll be a little bit further forward. Over to the right-hand side, Torres is obviously the main man in this position. We've got Antwi, to sort of back up to him. He wanted by somebody. Who wants him? It's just loan, so that's fine. And then we have Dekic, who will be sort of the third choice. So with injuries like we have to Antwi right now, Dekic will come and fill in wherever we need him to. Pretty happy with that. I think that's a good, solid lineup. Antwi could do it in Europe, and we know Dekic can do it in the league, so that's all solid. Over to left side, Della Vabora, who was absolutely brilliant for us last season, is back. Then we've got one of the new boys, Rupnik. I'm curious to see what we get out of him. I think he's going to do okay. I'm not sure. He could be absolutely brilliant, which is the thing, I think. But anyway, we'll see what we get. And then we've got this guy as third choice. Not ideal, but as a third choice option, he's not the worst. To the defensive midfielder, Sithole. He's wanted by a few. He doesn't have a release fee, so we under no pressure to sell him at all. Jakic is he'll share that role with. And then we've got Brigic, who is 21 now, and we probably need to make a decision on him in truth, but he's here for now. Then we've got another youngster, Novak, who is potentially quite good, and nobody else there. This is the other new guy that we signed from AC Milan, who could do a job there, I suppose, if we need him to. A little bit further forward in midfield, was this the side, or was this the side I lined up? Was this side? So Kakovenga, he's also signed a contract extension, I think it's 3 or 4 years, so he'll be here into his 30s now, which is brilliant. Bosniak is a very good player for us. We've also got Skoko, although ideally he'll play a little bit further forward than this, but he's around if we need him. Palumbo, who's also signed a contract extension to be here into his 30s, so that's, I think, good news for us as well. And then we've got the likes of Ormarkic, who is still around and still does okay when we need him, to be fair to him. And Renokia as well is a very, very solid midfielder, although his contract's up the end of this season. I'm inclined to renew him, but we'll wait and see how this season goes. And was there anybody else there? Not really, that we haven't already seen. If we go forward to the number 10, this is where I think we expect to see Skoko playing at his best. We've also then got Siraj, who is very good. We've got Kakavenga, who we know, and Ramsey, who is either going to play here or a little bit further forward again as a deep lying forward. I am kind of looking to move him on as well. He's transfer listed for now. Not necessarily that I don't think he could stay with us, but if we could cash in on him, then that wouldn't be a terrible thing either. And then if we go and have a look at the strikers, and which did I lined up one side, this side here. So we've got our new boy, our other wonder kid, Ronaldo Avila. Looking forward to see what he can do in a Jarun shirt. Then we've got Visinton. Now he's had a lot of bids coming in. You can see his value is going up and up. Right now, I don't think I'm going to sell him, but if we start getting up to 20-25 million, I think our hand's going to be forced at that point, and we might need to cash in. And I think, well, let me know what you guys think. I think if we get to the 20 million mark, it's probably time, isn't it? It's probably time. We can do a lot of damage with that sort of money. Akbazli, who continues to improve, which is good. We've got Matanovic. Matanovic is wanted by Rotherham, which is a very random one. I don't want to sell him just quite yet. We've got Turpic, who's still around, still doing a good job. Pavicevic is still here. Now, he's been injured all of this whole episode. He's just coming back now. I do want to sell him because he was another pig wheel just fattening up. And if we had to keep him, it's not the end of the world, but I do want to sell him and cash in on him. And then we've got a couple of the other youngsters. Madza, who is looking quite good. And then we're trying to sell Rukavina and Rakic, so I think they will be moving on as well. So that's what we've got to start the season with. I'm fairly happy with it. I do think someone like is Elias reaching his use-by date with us. There's maybe a couple of tough decisions to be made with strikers, and yeah, maybe a couple of decisions to be made with centre-backs as well. But generally speaking, I think we've got a good side. I think we've got a team that is capable of challenging or going well in Europe, but also doing quite well on the domestic front. And if we look at the finances, we have more to spend than we have in the bank, so that's slightly concerning. But I think we've done a pretty good job clearing out the squad and not leaving ourselves short in any positions either. So yeah, hopefully you've enjoyed that. We'll be back next time to start the season. As I said, we start in the league at home to Gorica. Then we're at home to Austria Vienna in our first qualifying attempt in the Champions League. Hopefully you're looking forward to that, and hopefully we can do very, very well. Take care.